Hello and welcome to the 2025 European Open Classic Powerlifting Championships here in Malaga, Spain.
Powerlifting is a sport composed by three main disciplines called lifts. They are, in order, squat, the bench press, and the deadlift. Each athlete has 3 attempts with 1 minute per attempt to start the lift. There are 3 referees, and each of them give a white light in case of a good lift and a red light in case of a no lift.
The athletes are separated per weight, age and sex category. The sum of each of the best attempts per lift builds the total, and the athlete with the bigger total is the winner. In case of a draw, the lighter lifter wins.
The squat is the first movement of the competition. On that lift, the use of the legs and the back is extremely important. Once the athlete stands erect with his knees locked and the bar on his back, the central referee gives the squat command. The lifter then bends his knees and lowers his body until the top surface of the legs at the hip joint are lower than the top surface of his knees. He then comes back up, locking his knees and hips in order to complete the lift. The central referee will then give the rack command, and the athlete has to put the bar on the squat rack. There are 3 main mistakes to avoid in order to not have a no lift on the squat. First, if the athlete isn't standing erect with his knees locked at the beginning and at the end of the squat event. Second, if the proper competition depth isn't reached at the bottom of the movement. Third, if the athlete doesn't complete the lift with a single upward movement, meaning if the bar goes down during the ascent of the movement.
And we begin into a very exciting session. I am Amelia Potter, joined by Alex Nodin, and we have the 52 kilo A group and the 74 kilo A group. We saw the 52 kilo B group this morning, which is why we see some of the numbers might be jumping around. The 52s will lift first, followed by the 74s, and what an exciting session we have for us this afternoon. We can see the running order as it stands, and Plundecker's there in 8th, the current squat world record holder, so could be seeing something very exciting. Just above her, Noemi Alabert, previous world champion. We're in for a treat, I think.
Yeah, 2 very interesting groups, 2 very interesting kilo class, the 52s and the 74s. We're in for a treat, Amelia.
Absolutely, and kicking us off here, we have Cosmiana Montanaro from Italy, 135 kilos.
Which will already be over the best squat of the B group.
Yeah, it just goes to show the standard we have here this afternoon. Seemed to tip forwards a little bit there.
Yeah, she might have lost balance, but it was right on the buzzer when she received the rack command.
I was a little worried if it was before or afterwards, but luckily if it was afterwards, and it is a good lift, 3 white lights. So in squat there are 2 commands.
There's the squat command. You need to be, as you saw on the video, properly standing, presenting the bar, receiving the squat command. Once you complete the movement, you receive the rack command. Usually, you might want to wait for the spotters to even push the bar forward, so you really don't miss any of the commands from the chief referee.
We have Marjo Lehachin for a while from Hungary, 135 kilos. Has been competing for 19 years. And you can see the experience there, wow.
Yeah, proper opener.
3 white lights and a good lift for Margit.
3 white lights, a good lift. The referees on the platform are unanimous.
Very popular weight this afternoon. The bar is loaded for Bielik of Austria, 135 kilos. Barbieri, Cuervo Osanos, get ready.
We now have Jelena Bilic from Austria opening on 135 kilos. I believe podiumed at last year's Euros and is in a good shot for fighting for podium today as well.
Yes, she's nominated third, but very much chased by Alexandra Aratinovic from Serbia.
Nice snappy squat there, looked very strong.
That is 3 white lights and a good lift
Right
for
where
Bielik.
you would want depth to be.
135 remains on the bar for Ilara
Yeah, so what we're looking for depth here is if you look at the hip
Barbieri,
crease, we want it to go
Cuervo
below the top of the knee joint. Parallel is not good enough. That would be a red light for depth.
Bar is loaded, 135 kilos for Barbieri of Italy.
Ilaria Barbieri from Italy also opting to open on 135 kilos. A very popular opening attempt here, the 52s.
She might have been
3 white lights
a
and a
bit
good lift
tilted
for
forward
Barbieri.
at the top, but it's still
142
good enough for a good lift.
Yeah.
3 white lights.
I do completely agree. I was thinking that, but if the referees are happy to give the start command, then and give her the rack command, usually all right, but she doesn't want to be any more tilted than that, really.
If she were to be too tilted forward, she would have received a blue light.
Estela Cueva Usanas from Spain, 142.5 kilos, lifting on home soil here in Malaga.
Must feel good lifting at home with the Spanish singlet representing the country in the 52 kilo class.
Ooh, and she was quite tentative going into the hole, quite slow, and it seemed like that might have hurt her on the way up. Have a look at that again in the replay.
I really want to look at her balance under her feet, and right here is where she lost it.
Yeah, she goes into her tiptoes there, you're absolutely right. I think being a bit too tentative, perhaps she has a previous injury she's a little bit worried about. We'll have to wait
Yeah,
until
maybe.
that second.
And we were mentioning in the previous session the nerves of the first squat, and when you know you're on Eurosport, it might be even more stressful.
Absolutely. Alexandra Aranitovic now from Serbia, 145 kilos, in a very strong position to be fighting for that overall.
Yeah, she needs to kickstart her competition with a great squat opener.
And it is great. Really steady all the way through. Let's wait for those lights.
3 white lights, a good lift.
And a good lift for Aranitovic.
Very precise squat.
Yeah, she wastes no energy. She goes just deep enough, and it is a lovely looking opener
Yeah,
from the
if she
Serbian
can
lifter.
maintain that technique, she'll be in a great position for sure.
Now we have Noemi Alabert, who is a previous world champion in the 52 kilo class, coming out as our penultimate opening attempt, 152.5 kilos.
She also once held the world record in the squat event.
She absolutely did, 171.5 kilos, now held by the only lifter to follow, Plundakas. And that's very nice. We know
Yeah,
Noemi
that should be
can
good enough.
really push through squats if she needs to. Has a great grind on her.
165 about now for Plundakas, Netherlands.
And we know she has a special gear for every attempt. She gets more and more intense
Yeah, I mean
as
you
the
don't get
competition goes on.
the title of world champion unless you do.
Absolutely.
Now talking about world, we have a world record holder, the current world record holder, Plundakas from the Netherlands, current world and European record, of course, 175.5 kilos
Yeah, a
belonging
real
to
squat
Plum.
machine.
Yeah, that's just 10.5 kilos above the current weight on the bar of 165. Should this move well, I think we'll be on path to see a new world record today.
I would love so.
Wow.
Very speedy out of depth.
It is a good lift. Yeah, as you were saying, it's a little slower towards the top, which isn't so characteristic of a squat. You can see again here, speedy out of the hole and harder towards the lockout, but
Yeah, she might have went a bit too back on her heels.
and we can see Decker's leading currently with squats, followed by Alibert and Arnautovic as we head into the second round of squats now. And kicking us off, we have Cosmiana Montanaro from Italy, 140 kilos on the bar, a 5 kilo jump from her opener.
A bit more patience this time at the top before re-racking the bar.
Yeah, maintained that balance at the top, a good lift, looked a lot better than that opener.
A lot of tension on that posterior chain before engaging the knees. It's called the pre-hinge. Very specific squat technique.
Margela Jean Fawal from Hungary, 142.5 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump from her opener, leaving her just 5 kilos below her personal best.
Very controlled. Great display of technique.
Yeah, and just like her opener, you can really see those 19 years of experience coming in. Such a tidy squat.
And not too aggressive with the attempt selection. Pacing correctly, you get 3 attempts. You want to make great use of all 3.
Yeah, there's no prize for the biggest jump. Jelena Bielic from Austria, 142.5 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump from her opener. Trying to stay in a good position for podium overall, build a big total. Strong looking second attempt from Jelena, and we just wait for the lights, and 2-1, a good lift.
This time not so much of a perfect squat because she gets a red light from the chief referee. It didn't look deep enough from the front, but it sure does from the sides.
Yeah, and that's usually where you're a little safer if you get a red from the front and whites for the side.
And keep in mind, it is very possible for the referees to see different things from different angles. That's why there are 3 referees on the platform and a jury with 3 other referees.
Ilaria Barbieri from Italy, now taking a 7.5 kilo jump to 142.5. Getting very near to her max of 145 kilos now.
This is stopping for sure. But she doesn't look as tilted forward as on her previous one. 3 white lights, a good lift. You can see her fighting the attempt with the hips kicking back, resisting the weight.
So now we have Estela Cuervo Usanos from Spain. Had a bit of a sticky situation with her opener. Like we said, nerves can be a big factor, and I'm hoping that is the case. She's retaking the weight, but she needs to get a squat in on the board, not just to build her total, but to make a total overall.
And she receives a lot of support from the crowd. That surely helps.
And that is much better there from Estella. And it is a good lift. She has a squat on the board and can push now into her third.
150 on the bar. Alexandra Aranitovic, Serbia. Alabama, Deckers, get ready. Last 3 lifts in round 2. And the bar is loaded at 150 kilos for Aranitovic.
We now have Alexandra Aranitovic from Serbia taking a 5 kilo jump to 150. Nice steady walk out there for Alexandra.
A bit slower than the opener, but is to be expected. And still 3 white lights, a good lift. Very consistent with the technique.
Yeah, and projected in second overall at the moment. She's going to want to just collect all the kilos she can, making slightly sensible decisions instead of pushing too much and getting knocked off the podium. We now have Noemi Alabert, 157.5 kilos, a 5 kilo jump to her second.
Yeah, a pretty small jump for Noemi Alabert. She must not have been very satisfied with her opener.
Yeah, that's my thoughts were there. Perhaps just not feeling quite as strong as she anticipated with that opening attempt. Feeling it out here on her second.
That's better.
It looks a lot better, yeah. And it is a good lift, Noemi. But that small jump might hurt her. I don't think it was wrong to take, but she's currently nominated in 5th, which is a crazy thought considering that is a previous world champion.
She's nominated with 160 as her squat, so she's not so far off. We might see something along the lines of 162.5 as her last squat.
Plundeckers now from the Netherlands, 172.5 kilos, just 3 kilos below her current world record squat. 165 moved like a breeze. Let's see what another 7.5 kilos can do here.
Yeah, this is some top-notch powerlifting action right now.
She was a little slow towards lockout, but let's see how this second moves. There's only one place really to go from here.
The lockout was better.
And 3 white lights, a good lift. It was definitely tough, but we've seen Plun push through some very difficult squats, and that's why she is the world record holder.
Load it, Plun. Come on, load it.
I think we won't see anything other than perhaps 76 on the bar. And as you can see, Decker's currently leading with that 172.5, followed by Alabert and Aranitovic in squat bronze as we head into third attempts. Cosmiana Montanaro from Italy for her third and final attempt on squats, 145 kilos on the bar.
Great third attempt.
Yeah, maintains position so well through that and is rewarded with a good lift.
I don't think it's an RPE 10. She has some more in the tank. You don't want to fully empty the tank for squats. There are 3 attempts in the bench and 3 attempts in the deadlift event. So great choice from the Italian crew.
Jelena Bilic from Austria, 147.5 kilos. 5 kilo jump from her second. Like we said, looking to pick up as many kilos as she can.
Yeah, that would be a new personal best of 4.5 kilos for Jelena Bilic.
Absolutely huge, and take home an Austrian national record with her, I imagine, as well.
Personal best at this level means something.
Wow, and that is a beautiful third attempt from Jelena. Just waiting for the lights here, but let's have a look at that again in the meantime.
Can we have flags, please? Flags. Thumbs up, thumbs down, flags. The lights are
And 2-1, a good lift. That is a new personal best for Yelena. Looking very strong today, looking to pick up those kilos.
Yeah, just a red card from the right side referee, which means her left hip wasn't judged deep enough, but the jury seemed to agree with the two whites.
We now have Ilaria Barbieri from Italy, 147.5 kilos, a 5 kilo jump from her second attempt.
This one's for a 2.5 kilo personal best, and to go from 7th to 5th position for the time being in the squat event of the 52s. A very fast-paced meet with only 8 lifters and an elite spotting crew.
Wow, I think she just might have sunk that a little too deep that time. We'll watch again in the replay, but she goes really hard and fast into that hole and just loses that tension and that power.
Yeah, it looks a bit too fast during the eccentric. On the way down, right there.
Yeah,
I think you saw that correctly, Amelia.
But if you're going to fail in any way, fail fast, don't waste the energy moving forwards. Margie Lehachin Fawal from Hungary, 150 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump, and this moves her into squat bronze for the time being, still with 4 lifters to follow. Both Aronatovic and Usanas Cuervo would be looking to take this from her.
Her technique seemed to be on point so far, and it looks to be the case for that third attempt.
Yeah, it's really very nice squat, and it is a good lift, and provisionally moves into squat bronze for the time being, with 2 lifters looking to knock her off that podium.
Amazing longevity and technique out of the Hungarian.
Now looking to take that bronze medal from her, Alexandra Aronatovic from Serbia, taking the smallest increment of jump you can make without it being a record, 2.5 kilos, so jumping from 150 kilos to 152.5. This is a match personal best, so the most she's ever done in competition before. Looking to get that today. She is heavier than Cuervo Sanos, so still, even if she gets this, could be in danger of losing the medal, but let's see how she moves with this 152.5.
Oh, it was almost there.
Well done, loaders. That is no lift.
Will be ruled a no lift. I thought for a second it was going to go up. It was deep enough, but the sticking point came in by her back.
Yeah, and as we were saying a little bit earlier, she failed quickly. She tried to go through it, but didn't waste too much energy on it. And you can hear the home crowd behind Estela Cuervo Sanos looking to take that squat bronze from the Hungarian lifter, 152.5 kilos, a 10 kilo jump after missing her opener. This is a huge jump for a 52 kilo lifter, almost 20% of her body weight.
That's massive. It looks like the ground is covered.
That is a great fight. Let's wait for the lights from the referees, and it is a good lift. She gets it and moves and collects squat bronze.
Finish.
100%. She finished strong. We have 2 squats remaining in the 52 kilo category before we head through to the 74 kilo men. Noémie Alabert from France, 162.5 kilos, a 5 kilo jump from her second. Already has squat silver, but looking to rack up a few extra kilos in that fight for podium overall.
This is nowhere near her personal best, but that would beat her nominated squat.
And there's that second gear we said she could knock herself into.
Oh yeah. 3 white lights for Noémie Alabert. The French came here to play.
Absolutely. And that is why she has collected numerous world titles before and records. One final squat here in the 52 kilo women. Unfortunately, not quite a world record, but only half a kilo below her current world record. Perhaps feeling that extra 1 kilo would have just put her over the edge. A 2.5 kilo jump for Plun to 175. 3 red plates aside. It's a huge squat.
Yeah, she might be looking at Noemi and saying, I need to collect those kilos for my title to be safe. So a safe bet here, but still the pinnacle of the sport. The best you can get in the squat of the 52s.
And it is lovely. It's hard to say whether another kilo would have been there, but 175 gets her third squat, and today that is what is important.
Okay, bear with us just a second, folks, while we run the score sheet of the broadcast, and we will then begin with the 74 kilo.
And that concludes the squats for the women. As you can see here, Cuervo Sanos walking away with squat bronze. We have Alabert from France walking away with squat silver. And then we have Dekkers from the Netherlands walking away with squat gold. What a phenomenal squat session, getting so close to that world record. And we head straight into the 74 kilo men. Just like the women, we've had the B group already, so we are going to see the numbers jump around. We see the running order as it stands, and that is a name everybody here recognized. Kjell Backlund, current reigning Sheffield champion, just won as a 66 kilo less than 2 months ago, is re-dipping his feet into the 74s. I'm excited to see what he can do. But a whole flight of strong lifters, and kicking us off we have Alain Jost from Switzerland with 195 kilos. Quite a way off his personal best. I think he was dealing with an injury, I believe, coming into this competition.
It moves pretty well. Maybe he's gauging where he is on the day, just coming back from injury. Or maybe he's just a big jumper.
Yeah, and sometimes you do see lifters compete with injuries, and all 3 lifts do look quite comfortable because they're just trying to be safe. So it'll be interesting to see what his second is and how it moves.
I mean, if you get the chance to compete at the European Open Classic Powerlifting Championship, you should.
We now have Jani Hapamäki from Finland, 225 kilos.
21 years of experience under his belt. 46 years young. He's well known in the scene.
Yeah, and you can see the experience there. Very comfortable opener for Jani.
No nerves whatsoever, perfect squat.
227.5 and a half. Joshua Wright of Germany now.
Next out is another well-known name in the scene, Amelia.
Yes, absolutely. I will not take that away from him. Joshua Wright from Germany has been around for a good minute, and he is nominated second just behind Kjell Backlund. He has a monster pull on him. And, you know, a bench as well. He's a very well-rounded athlete. 227.5 kilos on the bar for Joshua. Actually only 20 kilos below his best ever, so maybe on very good form today.
I mean, another very experienced lifter for another solid opener.
Yeah, is a really smooth opener, and that's indicative of what he has for us today. He is on good form.
I would not be surprised with a 15 kilo jump, 17 and a half maybe.
We now have Alberto Jerez Frances from Spain on home soil here. Only a couple of years out of the juniors at 25 years old. Spain getting known to have some fantastic squatters. And here's no exception in this class with the two Spanish lifters we're about to see. 245 kilos on the bar for Alberto.
I mean, it's the top of the sport. What are we expecting? Everything moves as planned.
Yeah, this is not the place we want to see drama. This is where we see nice clean openers like that. Followed swiftly by his teammate, another phenomenal squatter and a crowd favorite it seems, Marcos Abaladejo Castro from Spain, 247.5 kilos, even fresher out the juniors. This is his first year as an open, already in the A flight of the Open Classic Powerlifting Championships.
And if this is the love he gets for his first squat, I'm already excited for his third deadlift.
Absolutely.
Steady walk out, let the bar settle on the back. Big brace. And a nice squat.
Oh, it's so clean. He is such a phenomenal squatter, and you can see why the crowd was so excited to see him do it.
Yeah, I mean, show this in the schools. It's a perfect squat.
Absolutely, picture perfect, like you said. Let's have a look at that again. Textbook. We have 3 squats remaining in this first flight of squats. Christos Constantinou from Cyprus, 247.5 kilos. Worth mentioning the European Open record at 277.5 kilos.
It's going well, Emilia.
Yeah, I have to say, pretty speechless. That was another phenomenal opening attempt. Plenty left in the tank there. Very technically tidy. Let's have a look at that again. And I can imagine seeing some big jumps from him if that's how his opener moves.
I would agree.
Now, a slightly newer face to the international scene, I believe. You have Yann Pouget from France, opening 250 kilos, the same opening number as Kjell Backlund, which is quite the statement in itself.
Yeah, it's his first international 74 kilo class French champion. He's coached by another athlete of the French team, Corentin Clément, who's here to look at him today. And he'll be competing later on in the week.
Now this is 18 kilos off of his squat PB, and I imagine French record. Let's see how this moves for him. Squatting on the international platform is quite a different statement on home soil.
It moves well for Jan.
And it is a good lift. 3 white lights. He is on the board.
An important precision. It is written in the rule book that if the elbows touch the thighs, but it is not judged helpful by the referees, it is not to be sanctioned. So that's why he gets 3 white lights.
And now our final opening attempt from none other than Kjell Backlund from Norway. 250 kilos. He would have weighed in... Oh, I thought he would have weighed in lighter, to be honest. 73.5, so filled up quite a lot since his last competition as a 66. But I think the question on everybody's lips is, how will he perform today?
He might have ate this morning, we don't know.
Absolutely, I imagine he would have done, but It's a quick turnover from competition to competition, so
Yeah, but I mean, this is greatness. This is the best of the best.
and there we go. He has not coined the Goat Slayer for no reason.
In typical chair fashion, 3 white lights, solid opener.
And a good lift for Chow. We are into round 2. Everyone's got one
Yeah,
for the first round.
phenomenal effort there.
10 on the bar. For Alain Jost of Switzerland. Hababaki, right, get ready.
And that concludes our opening squats. Bear in mind that these are still the B group, but Chel Backlund already jumping to silver overall with Pouget following as we head in 2 seconds. And kicking us off with our second attempts, making a pretty sizable jump here, Alain Jost from Switzerland, 210 kilos.
I think he's still gauging where he is on the day. Being a bit careful, as he should.
Yeah, it still looks comfortable for him in terms of weight. And it is a good lift. It's moving very well for him.
Right and Helai, get ready.
Also a very pretty squat.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we have very good squatters in this flight, I guess. Every lifter of this flight has a different technique, but it is very much working for all of them.
Jani Hapamäki from Finland, 235 kilos, opting for a 10 kilo jump from his opener. Has been competing for almost half of his life.
That's goals right there. Being able to maintain that kind of longevity and performance at the same time.
100%.
Much respect to Yanni. You can see that left knee shake a bit. Didn't look as comfortable as his opener, but it's still moving well. 3 white lights, a good lift.
240 on the bar for Joshua Wright of Germany.
That is a good lift, yeah, lovely.
Bars loaded, 240 kilos, Joshua Wright, Germany.
240 kilos for Joshua Wright from Germany, jumping 12.5 kilos from his opener, leaving him just 7.5 kilos below his personal best and his nominated squat. And his open was very easy. It was very comfortable for him.
Yeah, he looks to be on pace for a new PB, or maybe 250, depending on how this one moves. Great tension all throughout the eccentric.
Yeah, and it's still very comfortable for him.
It didn't slow down that much.
No, and he seems pretty happy with it. He's a very cool, calm, collected lifter. You know, we don't see too much hyper arousal from him, and it suits him well. It benefits him a lot.
3 white lights and a good lift. 255 on the bar. The bar is loaded.
We now have the first of 2 Spanish lifters, Alberto Reyes Frances, 255 kilos, a 10 kilo jump from his opener.
His opener was lightning fast. What about this 255?
A little slow through the middle, but he maintains his form, pushes through, and it still looks good. And it is 3 white lights, a good lift. I think a sensible choice there from the Spanish team to jump 10.
Yeah, but no technique breakdown. It just slowed down. so they can gauge how much he has left in the tank in the squat event.
We now have Jan Pouget from France, 260 kilos, looking to jump 10 kilos from his opener. This number will be taken by the next 4 lifters, so only separated by body weight in terms of fighting for medals, of course, with the third round of squats to follow.
Yeah, very hard to predict who will be on that squat podium. Having Mr. Jimori out of the B group also squatting 260. But I wouldn't bet on any one of these gentlemen of the A group to miss any squat. That looked just about like his opener.
And it is a good lift, 3 white lights, moves into squat gold for the time being, of course, with 3 lifters, second attempts to follow of the same weight, let alone all the thirds we expect to see.
Yeah, the man we call La Pulga in France looks to be on form today.
And as I'm sure you can hear, a crowd favorite, Marcos Abladejo Castro from Spain, 260 kilos. He made 247.5, move like an empty bar. Already this would surpass his personal best of 257.5 kilos.
And he looks to have made some great progress in the gym.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. A little tentative into the hole, but it didn't take away from his squat whatsoever. It is a good lift.
Yeah, I agree. The technique on the way down looked a bit different. But still, I mean, no troubles whatsoever on the way up. So what can we expect for the third? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I suppose the question of the next few lifters who are all taking 260 is how easy with their second and how much can they push that third without pushing it too far and losing kilos on that total. We'll have to wait and see. 260, the penultimate second attempt. Now, Kjell Backlund, a 10 kilo jump. The opener looked very comfortable. I imagine was able to eat into this competition, which would have aided him. But not to forget those months he spent in deficit leading into Sheffield.
He's so experienced, lifting in and out of equipment, being at the top of the sport for so long.
Still looking really strong there. And 2-1, a good lift. Just a depth call again from that center referee. Have a look from the side angle here in the replay.
He's one of those lifters that is so tilted that it looks bad from the front, but from the side, it looks just about right to me.
Yeah, and that's exactly why we have referees on the side as well as in the front, so every angle is covered. Our final second attempt before heading through to the third and final round of squats. We have Christos Constantinou from Cyprus, also taking 260 kilos.
I'm not surprised by the jump because his opener was almost an empty bar.
Yeah, perhaps even the quickest we saw in this flight, which says something considering the standard that we've seen. Seconds left on the clock to get that start command. And gets it with 5 seconds to go.
Still looking strong.
3 white lights, a good lift, yeah, and it is going to be who can push that 260 the furthest in that third.
Would you agree that it looks on pace to match his personal best?
I would say so. Definitely seems like that could be the case. We'll have to wait and see. We can see Constantinou, as we just saw, currently leading on body weight, ahead of Backlund and Pouget, all on 260 kilos, only separated by body weight. And now kicking us off into our third round of squats. 225 kilos for Alain Joist from Switzerland. Taking another 15 kilo jump here. Like you said, still feeling it out, making big jumps, still staying sensible based on how his body feels.
Still, this is 30 kilos above his opener. More of a fight, but it doesn't look to be hurt, so that's a good sign. 3 white lights for Alain Jost.
Yeah, it's a good third attempt. I think especially with coming in probably with somewhat low expectations of what he could do today. Phenomenal squat session for him, going 3 for 3, getting everything I think he could have safely out of squats. 240 kilos now for Jani Haapamäki from Finland. 5 kilo jump from his second.
I think it was a great decision. He might have had 2.5 more, but we can see a small technique breakdown with that left knee shaking a bit, going out of position. You don't want to play with that. You want to stay safe, collect those kilos, and build a total.
Yeah, and he's going to know himself so well, and squat's the first of 3 lifts. There's no point of emptying the tank completely this early on. 247.5 kilos for Joshua Wright from Germany, looking to match his squat PB here, build as much of a total as he can to fight to stay in that silver position overall.
Same focus, same attitude, same walkout to match his personal best.
Again, a nice and steady squat. We'll wait to see what the referees think of that. It is a good lift. 3 white lights, seeing some phenomenal squatting and attempt selection here in this A flight. Doesn't squat it any deeper than he needs to, and you don't need to. As long as it's within the rules, you are all okay.
You don't want to create unnecessary fatigue.
We now have 257.5 kilos for Alberto Jerez Frances from Spain. Although it seems like he may not be coming out for it, which I imagine is the case. Jumping 2.5 kilos may not be worth it to grind it out when you're perhaps pushing for more. He's in a position where he could be pushing even onto Joshua Wright if he has a good day. And the thing is, he's giving his teammate an extra minute here to catch his breath, to have an extra minute, especially in a flight that's as short as this.
And as you said, there's no point of collecting 2.5 more in the squat if you lose 10 in a deadlift. So
if you look at the scoreboard now, 260 kilos for the top 5, currently only separated by body weight, shows the standard of not just the A group but the B group today as well. But that is subject to change now as we have the final 5 squats of the 74s.
yeah, ranging from 262.5 to 267.5, and we have a rookie on the international stage in the person of Jan Puget fighting with Kjell Egil Backlund to see who might get that gold medal in the squad event.
It's all very, very exciting.
Do we call that the clash of the generations?
I think we'll have to wait until we give it a title like that. Christos Constantinou from Cyprus, 262.5 kilos, taking the smallest jump possible, which is surprising considering how quick his opener moved.
I have a suspicion. I think he might have missed a minute to give out the ticket.
that very much could be the case. So you have 1 minute to get your attempt in. If your previous attempt was successful and you miss it, it goes up 2.5 kilos. If your previous attempt was unsuccessful and you miss the minute, it will stay the same. So let's see how this moves. 262.5.
Yeah, he definitely had more. Still, it's 2.5 more kilos towards his total, but he looks frustrated. You can see the head nod and the sign with the hands. The head shake, he knew he had more than this.
The good news is he's gone 3 for 3. You know, he is energized still for bench and for deadlift. There's plenty more for him to give. Now I'm sure we'll hear a roar from the crowd here as Marcos Albadejo Castro from Spain comes out for his third and final attempt to move himself into squat gold for the time being with 265 kilos, with Puget and Backlund to follow. Straight out of the juniors, straight into the fire, fighting with the open legend Kjell Backlund himself.
Let's pay close attention to the eccentric. That same tension. It looked better than the second, but unfortunately he tilts forward.
Yeah, let's just watch that again in the replay. Unfortunately, a lot of the time with lifters who squat like him, the breaks can come on quite quickly. So we'll see again here.
Yeah, it doesn't go from fast to slow, then no lift. It's from fast to no lift.
Yeah, the breaks come on hard and fast, which means he does not end up on the squat podium. Instead, now we have Jan Puget from France attempting 267.5. He is heavier than Backlund, who's to follow with the same weight, but if he gets this, he moves himself from squat bronze into squat gold, and at the very least secures squat silver.
Yeah, guarantee medal for a first on the international scene is already pretty good, but still 267.5 on his back, walking out.
Yeah, just half a kilo below his squat personal best. Let's see how this moves for him when the pressure is high. And it is moving well. What a phenomenal final squat from Jan. We'll wait for the lights, and it is a good lift. 3 white lights. Phenomenal effort. Moves himself into squat gold, and as we said before, secures at the very least squat silver.
And next out we have the most experienced lifter here.
Absolutely.
Unfazed by that squat.
We have our final squat of this session. We have Kjell Backlund from Norway to move from squat bronze into squat gold, 267.5 kilos, looking to do what he needs to collect that squat gold. Has a personal best of 272.5.
He's looking like it's just another day in the office for Kjell Backlund.
Yeah, and it's phenomenal to be putting up these numbers with such a tight turnaround from his last big competition. Already guaranteed squat bronze. For squat gold now, 267.5 kilos. And it's still moving so well for him.
Yeah.
And that is how legends are made. 2-1, a good lift for Kjell Backlund.
Considering how he squats, he for sure had more. He's such a grinder in the squat event.
Yeah, let's have a look at that again. He does get one call for depth, but I think he should be okay there. And jury are happy with it. And that concludes our squats. We can see Constantino from Cyprus walking away with squat bronze. Puget from France in squat silver, just on body weight, behind of Kjell Backlund with 267.5 kilos in squat gold. What an incredible squat session we've seen.
Powerlifting is a strength sport that involves lifting the maximum weight possible in 3 different lifts: squat, bench press, and deadlift. The 3 highest validated scores are added together to determine the total score. Competitors are divided into a series of weight classes, from the women's under 47 kilogram class to the men's over 120 kilogram category. The squat is a multi-joint movement engaging the quadriceps, glutes, hips, and hamstrings. The upper body carries the bar. American Jesus Olivares, weighing 186 kilograms, lifts 2.5 times his weight in a squat, which is 478 kilograms, equivalent to the weight of a show-jumping horse. Frenchwoman Jade Jacob lifts 188 kilograms, over 3 times her weight of 57 kilograms, which means she could lift a racing motorbike on her shoulders. With the feet stabilizing the upper body on the bench press is like a loaded push-up on your back, targeting shoulders, triceps, pectoralis major, and anterior deltoids. In the lightest category, the women's under 47 kilograms, British woman Bobby Butters lifts 100 kilograms, equivalent to the weight of 16 racing bikes. American Jonathan Keiko, in the under 93 kilogram category, lifts 245 kilograms, 2.5 times his own weight, or the equivalent of the weight of a piano. The deadlift targets the abdominal, back and leg muscles, with the hips, quadriceps, hamstrings and adductors, especially in the sumo deadlift. Polish powerlifter Agata Sitko achieved the best performance of all time in the under 69 kilograms category by lifting 248 kilograms, which is 3.6 times her own weight, the equivalent of a pack of 3 rugby sevens players. In the men's under 74 kilogram category, New Zealander Timothy Monegatti deadlifts 331 kilograms, which is 4.5 times his weight, and the equivalent of 36 water packs. American Jesus Olivares lifts a total of 1,152.5 kilograms in his 3 lifts, equivalent to a Le Mans 24-hour car. Powerlifting is a quintessential sport of self-improvement and becoming the best version of yourself.
The bench press is the second movement performed in a powerlifting competition. It's a movement that mainly uses upper body strength. A slight back arch is authorized and allows for a stronger and healthier shoulder positioning. Laying down on the bench, the athlete has to create points of contact between his head, shoulder, glutes and the bench. His feet has to lay flat on the ground with the heels in the contact with the floor. Once that position is locked, the central referee gives the start command. The lifter lowers the bar until it touches his chest. The lower underside of both of his elbow joints have to be at level or below the top surface of each shoulder joint. He then has to stabilize the bar for the referee to give him the press command. The lifter has to push the bar back up until the complete extension of his elbows. The central referee gives the rack command and the lift is completed.
There are 4 main reasons to have a no lift on that movement. First, if you're not able to fully extend your elbows at the beginning and at the end of the movement. Second, if you don't touch the chest with the bar, or if your elbows don't go at level or below the top of your shoulder joint. Third, if you're not able to maintain all points of contact with the bench, knowing the head, the shoulders, and the butt. Fourth, if the lift isn't completed in a single upward movement.
Hello and welcome back to the 2025 European Open Classic Powerlifting Championships here in Malaga, Spain. We've just had quite the exciting squat session in both the 52 kilo and 74 kilo A groups. We head now into the bench press. We can see the running order as it stands. Benches ranging from 70 kilos all the way up to 92.5. The world record in the 52 kilos stands at 113.5 kilos, a huge bench press there. And we can see very, very close together. Yelena and Alexandra there at the bottom, going to be fighting for that bench press gold, looking to build their totals, add the kilos, and fight all the way to the end for those podium positions.
Barbieri, Arabert, Lehoshkine, Beckers, Bielich, and Aronitovic.
Just like the squats, this will move nice and quickly. There's this A flight, only 8 lifters. Already we've seen some opening benches change, so it'll be interested to see how they're pushing each other here.
Yeah, we have coaches and the whole coaching staff playing mind games with the other team, changing the openers 3 minutes before the session restarts. You don't want to let the opponents guess where you're going to be heading with the total. You want to push the opponents to overreach and making it hard for them to read the subtotal.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you said, it's not just a game of lifting. It goes far beyond that with the coaches, with the numbers. It's got a lot of layers to it on game day handling.
It's getting more and more strategic, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can see here kicking us off, the Italian lifter Cosmiana Montanaro from opening with 70 kilos, a popular opening weight. This is just 2.5 kilos below her personal best.
So as you've heard, 3 commands in the bench press event: the start, the press, and the rack. It's the chief referee that dictates the rhythm of the movement.
Yeah, and just like the squat, your time runs out. You need to get the start command on both squat and the bench. A little harder sometimes on bench with those lifters with the lengthy setups. Estela Cuervo Sanos from Spain, 70 kilos. Now with the most commands also comes the most technical issues that can crop up, which we will be sure to talk you through if and when we see them.
Very nice soft touch action.
Yeah, I don't see any technical issues there from my seat, at least. Nice looking opener there for Estela. And it is a good lift, 3 white lights.
75 on the bars, Ilaria Barbieri of Italy, Alabama. Lehoskine, get ready. Bar is loaded at 75 kilos for Barbieri of Italy.
We now have Ilaria Barbieri from Italy, 75 kilos, opening just 5 kilos shy of her personal best.
But 5 kilos in the bench press is not 5 kilos in the squat event.
No, absolutely not. It really is very different. You can feel every kilo for sure on bench press. And it is much, much harder to grind through.
It is also the lift that is the most affected by body weight and the cut. So the most difficult to predict once you're on the platform.
Ooh, looks like she just jumped the command there. So, as we said, there are 3 commands you need to follow, and it's start, press, and rack. You can see here, she's held for a little bit and tries to meet the command, but instead skips it.
And the pose tends to be a bit longer when you are borderline with depth, so the referees can really gauge whether or not you are deep enough. And I think that's what happened there. The referee had to check the elbows. The pose was judged too long by the lifters, and she pressed up.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem to be a strength issue, so hopefully something she can fix in her second. Noemi Alibert, 80 kilos. Comfortable looking lift there for Noemi.
This is great to see because she used to have a shoulder issue that made her bench really unevenly, and it looks to have been corrected in the gym, so very happy for the lifter. Yeah, it looks much better.
Bars loaded at 80 kilos for the Hoskine of Hungary.
Now, Margie Fawal from Hungary, 80 kilos. Opening 15 kilos below her personal best. Be interested to see how this moves. And again, many factors could lead to why she has made that choice. Opting there for a handout. The lifter can choose for a self handout or to get a handout from the spotters. I have a suspicion that perhaps she might have been affected quite a lot by the rule change in terms of elbow depth. Maybe that's why the bench is down a little bit. Let's have a look at that again. It's a lovely opener.
One thing to consider in terms of handoff is that it creates another variable that you cannot control on midday. So if you can get used to unracking the bar yourself, you might want to do that even if it takes a bit of energy, because you can control more variables.
85 kilos in the bar for Plun Dekkers from the Netherlands. Currently projected in gold overall. I'm sure looking to maintain that lead. Every kilo counts in that case for Plun.
And with that, she increases the lead over Noemi Alibert. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Of Austria, Ananitovic and Montanaro to get ready. Bar is loaded at 92.5 kilos for Bilic, Austria.
We now have Jelena Bilic from Austria, 92.5 kilos. Opening 5 kilos below her personal best. She's also represented Austria in bench-only competitions as well, so perhaps feeling comfortable here in her element.
Interesting.
Yeah, it looks very strong. She does get a yellow for the elbows not being completely straight. So we'll have a look at that again in the replay. They certainly look good at the start. And she could have been held by the centre referee if they didn't think she was locked out fully, but...
And I don't think elbows not extended is a yellow. So that must have been a mistake.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah, I saw the sign.
Don't shoot the messenger, listen.
I agree with you, Amelia.
No, I'm a bit confused by that, but it looks like the jury are too, so it will remain a good lift. Alexandra Arnautovic from Serbia, 92.5 kilos. Our final opening attempt.
Easy opener.
Yeah, very, very comfortable.
And in the meantime, the coach of Jelena went to the jury to get some clarification. Didn't quite get what he heard from them, but...
No, I think they were saying that lift was a fine lift and, you know, nothing really needs to change. But that concludes our opening round of bench press there. If we have a quick look at the score sheets, of course, still has the B group from earlier. Jelena from Austria still now in the lead, followed by Arnautovic from Serbia and Trempe from Switzerland in bronze. We head straight through to the second round of bench press now, and leading us out we have Cosmiana Montanaro from Italy with 72.5. Opting for the minimum jump you can make without it being a record, which is 2.5 kilos.
Which would match her personal best. Still very controlled, slightly more difficult, which is what you expect out of a second attempt.
And it is a good lift. Yeah, and especially if you do see that small jump, perhaps you're expecting them to be slightly closer to their top end. Some lifters do prefer opening close to their top end and making those smaller jumps, and some lifters, slightly more conservative openers, to then push a slightly larger jump. Now, Ilaria Barbieri from Italy didn't make her opener of 75 kilos, making the very smart decision to retake the 75 instead of trying to go up and make up ground.
This one's just a matter of not skipping the command.
And that's an easy enough mistake to make, and it's an easy enough one to fix as well.
That was easy.
Yeah, listened very, very well that time round.
And as suspected, she was borderline for elbow depth. She gets 1 red. So we'll take a look at the replay, and so will the jury.
Yeah, it's that left elbow they're looking at, and I can see where they're coming from for sure. But coach talks to the jury. For now, it seems to remain a good lift, however. Estela Cuervo from Spain, jumping 5 kilos to 75 for her second attempt.
We talked about the 2 red plates milestone, and she gets it.
Still waiting for 1 vote. Right side.
3 white lights, a good lift.
Thank you. 3 white lights. 85 on the bar for Noémie Alabert of France. The bar is loaded.
Yeah, very technically efficient bench there from Estela. 85 kilos now for Noémie Alabert, just 2.5 kilos below her personal best. 5 kilo jump from her opener.
One of the longest tenure member of Team France. Oh, it's a dog fight.
Yeah, kicked into a second gear there, smooth off the chest, and then had to restart the engine on that second portion of the lift, but it is a good lift. I imagine looking to match her personal best on the third with a 2.5 kilo jump.
I mean, I think there's nowhere else to go.
Yeah. Marji Lehoskina Fawal from Hungary, 85 kilos, a 5 kilo jump from her opener. This will provisionally move her into bench press bronze, as that will jump around a lot, however, in the next 10 or so minutes.
It was a bit fast on the way down. I'm quite surprised.
Yeah, just unfortunately no lift. She gets a depth call from the centre referee in yellows from each of the sides, which I imagine would be a lift of sorts. So let's have a look at that replay. Yeah, unfortunately, the yellow we see there would be for the glutes lifting off of the bench, which is not allowed. Your glutes must remain to the bench, feet to the floor, head to the bench.
Every point of contact needs to stay still during the movement.
Plendeckers now taking a 5 kilo jump to 90 kilos, just half a kilo below her personal best. Really making a mean gap between herself and the rest of the lifters should bench continue to go well.
The first attempt was not scrappy by any means, but not super easy also.
Yeah, you're right. And
I'm not surprised. A 5 kilo jump there was quite a big ask for Plundeckers.
yeah, and that really could hurt her if a couple of the other lifters have a phenomenal day from here, because that looks just off of first glance like a strength issue. And if that is the case, then she's not going to get that again on her third.
But does that open the door for Noémie Alabert? I think she's still quite far.
Yeah, Noemi is still nominated in fourth. There are two lifters still above her, and one of those is currently benching. Jelena from Austria. We have 97.5 kilos. This would be a match personal best. And that is still so nice and easy.
No wonder why she competed in bench only.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, looking at her numbers, very well-rounded athlete as well. I believe she has the highest ever GL points for any Austrian lifter.
That is an amazing achievement. I'm the best in the country.
No biggie.
Yeah, no big.
Alexandra Arnautovic from Serbia, also taking 97.5 kilos. She is heavier than Jelena. She weighed in at 52 kilos on the dot, so will not have body weight advantage. If two lifters lift the same weight, the lifter that is lighter will walk away ahead of the lifter that is heavier.
And they look to have the same margin.
Does get a depth call from that centre referee, however, so we'll have a look at that in the replay. Opposite to squats, the centre referee giving depth is a little bit more dangerous than the sides.
Oh, and that right side could be signaled by the jury as a no depth also.
Now, Trempe from the B group still holding on to bronze. Arnautovic in silver and Bielic in gold currently, heading into the third round. And we do head into that third round now with Cosmiana Montanaro from Italy, 75 kilos, looking for those red plates on the bar. Like we said before, a big milestone.
Technique was great, but the second attempt was hard. 2.5 kilos, as said earlier, makes a lot of difference in a bench press for a smaller athlete. We'll see. Still super controlled. It's a fight, but it's going up. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come
What
on.
a grind. Look at that heart from Montanaro. 2-to-1 a good lift. Absolutely incredible. Just gets a yellow from the far side referee, and I'm wondering if that was a lift. You can see the light coming through, but I just think that might be her positioning.
And there's still a point of contact, so I think she should be safe.
And it looks like she is. What a phenomenal effort.
Props to her.
Earned every kilo. 77.5 kilos for Estela Cuervo-Sanos from Spain. A 2.5 kilo jump from her second. Leaving her just 2.5 kilos shy of her personal best. Just glued in the middle there, unfortunately. Hit the sticking point and couldn't get it going again.
80 kilos on the bar now for Ilaria Barbieri of Italy. Lehoskine and Alabert to get ready. Bar is loaded at 80 kilos for Ilaria Barbieri.
We're going to see some scrappy attempts in that third round for sure.
Ilaria Barbieri now, after missing her opener, came back and got it on her second. She just jumped the command, so it wasn't a strength or really a technique issue. Jumping 5 kilos now. Needs to make sure she listens to the commands. This matches her personal best, so let's see if that plus strength is there.
it is there.
Yeah, phenomenal effort there from Ilaria.
How about depth?
That's a good lift.
Still that
2 to
red
1
lights
for
on the left
Barbara.
side.
85 on the bar for Margit Lehoskina of Hungary now.
We'll let the replay decide.
This will be for a provisional bench press bronze.
Jury's taking a
For
look.
4 lifters to follow. Bars loaded at
But they don't
85
seem too
kilos for
bothered by it,
Lehoskina
so
of
we'll move
Hungary.
through to Marji Lehoshkina Kowal from
2
Hungary,
attempts to change over to
retaking
2 attempts over.
85 kilos. This will provisionally move her into bench press bronze, with 4 lifters still to follow. It will be Noemi Alabert looking to take that bronze position from her, and Marji is looking to take it from Lola Trempe from Switzerland in the B group.
Great fight.
Wow. I think it's still going.
Oh.
No, just stuck there, unfortunately.
And statistically, the third bench is the most missed attempt in powerlifting, so I'm not surprised we're seeing a few misses.
Netherlands, if successful, this will be
Yeah,
for bronze in that.
just seemed to have a bit of trouble on her bench, and I think maybe the second attempt got in her head a little bit, but there's still 3 lifts left to go, worth locking in for.
Hang on, we jump forward. Okay, 87.5 on the bar, please.
We now have 87.5 kilos for Noemi Alabert from France, looking to move into bench press bronze. If she gets this, still in danger of Plundeckers taking it away from her. This is a 2.5 kilo jump to match her personal best for a potential bench press medal.
Unfortunately, too heavy.
I think we would have suspected that based on her second. She really did empty the tank, but it was a great effort to come back and try it
I
anyway.
didn't want to jinx her, but I thought so too. You can see that right side.
And I think sometimes when you know it's not there, it's hard to really engage in it. 90 kilos now for Plundeckers from the Netherlands. Missed this on her second. This moves her into bench press bronze, still being held on to by the Swiss lifter from the group that lifted earlier, Lola Trempe. If Plun gets this, she secures that bronze medal. But like you said, missed it on the second, and it looked like it could have been a strength issue. It's a lot better though, wow.
And that is world-class powerlifting. You adapt and you overcome. Props
Yeah.
to Plundeckers for this one.
Absolutely, and that's near a decade of competitive experience you see there.
She did some slight adjustments. She paused a bit more up. She bended the wrist a bit more also, and it works.
Now, the following 2 lifters both fighting for bench press gold. If Jelena is to make it, she's the lighter of the 2 and will walk away with that bench press gold. Jelena Bielic from Austria, 100 kilos, a huge milestone bench for really any weight class. And it is a
Come on.
grind. Wow, she is pushing through it. And let's wait for the lights. I hope they're white. Oh, unfortunately.
They are not, but that was a crazy fight.
It all went wrong, I'm afraid.
That's some of the things we like to see.
Yeah, absolute heart there. She gets red for depth and then blue for downwards movement, which I could argue against, but the referees are in a much better position. Our final bench press attempt now, looking to take bench press gold from the Austrian lifter, Alexandra Aronatovic from Serbia, also taking the same jump, 2.5 kilos to 100. Also would be a personal best, and like we said, what a PB it would be.
100 kilos is something. For some people, a lifetime goal.
No, unfortunately not, and it means that she walks away with the 97.5 kilos and bench silver on body weight behind Bielic.
Yeah, I think she couldn't control the tension at the bottom with the elbows too tucked in.
and we will start the bench press.
Unfortunately not there today, but still having an incredibly strong day. And we have, as you can see, Plundeckers walking away with bench press bronze. Aranatovic in silver with 97.5 kilos, and walking away with bench press gold, Jelena Bielic from Austria, again with 97.5 on body weight. We now head straight into the 74 kilo men and their bench press. We can see quite a range here of lifters. Of course, again, outlast Chel Bacton with 192.5 kilos. It's worth mentioning that the European Open record is 212.5 and the world record is 215. We now have Alain Joist from Switzerland, 145 kilos.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that record is held by none other than Eddie Berglund, which is not here today.
He is not here today, no. I haven't seen a Swedish lifter quite yet. We have a Swiss lifter now, Alain Joist, 145.
Not so far off his personal best this time.
Yeah, and it's very comfortable looking opener there.
Three white lights and a
They good lift, 3 white lights.
147.5 on the bar for Christos Konstantinou of Cyprus. Albaladejo.
He looks to be happy with that one.
Yeah, it's worth celebrating every
kissed.
lift. Yeah, why not?
Bars loaded at 147.5 kilos for Konstantinou, Cyprus.
Christos Konstantinou from Cyprus, 147.5 kilos for his opening bench. If it's anything like his opening squat, it would be extremely speedy.
And if there's still any frustration of that third squat being too light, you might want to put it into the bench press. Nice sink.
There's a good lift, 3 white lights.
150 on the bar for Marcos Albaladejo Castro of España. Puget Habamaki, get ready. Bars loaded, 150 kilos for Albaladejo, España.
150 kilos for Marcos Albaladejo Castro. He has a big support system behind him today. Just 10 kilos off his personal best.
And just like environment during training, support during a competition makes a lot of difference.
Yeah, very comfortable looking opening attempt for Albaladejo. 3 white lights, a good lift.
This is what you want out of an opener. Just get a feel for the rhythm of the chief referee, the standards, get accustomed to the bench.
He lifts like a lifter who has many more years of experience than he does. He's just fresh out of the juniors. Yann Puget from France, now opening at 162.5 kilos, just 2.5 kilos below his personal best. And it seems like they changed his opener.
The French coaching staff playing some games.
Yeah, it seems like it.
We've mentioned the strategic aspect, growing and taking more and more space in powerlifting. It seems to be the case for Team France today, because Yann is very much in a fight for a podium finish. A big arch for Yann.
See how that affects elbow depth.
Yep, that was my question. And this is what you don't want to see. Lifters getting out of position at the bottom.
Yeah, let's have a look at that again in the replay. I'm wondering if he fell out of position or if he jumped the command. But it looks like his butt was floating anyway, so a lot of technical issues here.
Yeah, multiple things going wrong right now for Yann.
Like you said, he is in a position to fight for podium, so he's going to have to really pull it together for that second attempt.
Was increasing the opener the right choice? Might question that later on.
We now have Jani Hapamäki from Finland, 162.5 kilos. Slow and steady wins the race. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Same weight remains on the bar for Alberto Jerez. España, right and back along, get ready. Bar is loaded for Alberto Jerez of España.
162.5 kilos for Alberto Jerez Frances from Spain. In a position to fight for a bench medal for sure today.
It moved well, but it was not perfect by any means. I think he's not so happy with the handoff. And he pushed too vertically out of the chest for it to be a perfect bench. So 3 white lights, but he needs some improvements to be happy.
Yeah, it was definitely segmented into 2 parts there, you can see on the bench. So hopefully something he can smoothen out on his second. 175 kilos on the bar for Joshua Wright, Germany. Sitting in currently a bit of an island of his own in silver, but not safe enough that he can start making mistakes. Has a personal best of 190 kilos, so a big bencher as well. You don't often see lifters near the end for bench and deadlift.
Three white lights and a good lift for Joshua Wright.
And that is a good lift, 3 white lights.
That's a big jump, that can only mean one thing. We are loading up for Kjell Bakkelund of Norway.
We have our final opener here, 192.5 kilos for Kjell Bakkelund. He is a very well-rounded athlete. And as I was saying, for Joshua, you know, you don't often see lifters come out last for bench and last for deadlift as well, but they are both exceptions.
And let's see if his bench went up after regaining a few kilos of body weight.
Yeah, it's very comfortable. And Kjell actually one of the few lifters who can grind through a bench.
For sure. For sure.
First round complete, and only Tijay did not get one. He's definitely going to get one this time to the French fans.
But we cannot emphasize enough the fact that going from Sheffield to this is very hard, and maintaining that level of performance all year long, it is so difficult. So very, very impressive out of Kjell Bakkelund.
We have Alan Yost from Switzerland coming out now, 152.5 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump from his opener, and it looks like he's having fun. Still very smooth there on his second attempt, and a good lift for you, white lights.
Can we imagine back-to-back 7.5 kilo jump? It's pretty rare in the bench press event, but why not, considering that second attempt?
I could certainly see it happening, especially we know he lost some kilos and the Scot perhaps wants to push his bench and his deadlift somewhat.
Just put his wrist wraps on. TC won't let him go until he has, and here
Now have Christos Constantiniou from Cyprus, 152.5 kilos for a 5 kilo jump from his opener. It's not a mammoth jump we're seeing there, but trying to collect all the kilos that he can.
He lost a few seconds because you're not allowed to adjust the wrist wraps on the platform, so the technical controller stopped him. But he has 25 more seconds to receive the start command.
Yeah, and I think the 5 kilo jump was smart. It's important that you pace yourself to have 2 more attempts after your opener.
Because it takes a toll on your mental when you miss an attempt. You don't want to be too greedy and risk missing for no reason and put you in a bad mood after for the rest of the competition.
Yeah, and as well, you have 3 attempts. You might as well use them, space them out. There's no point of getting it all in that one lift. Now, 157.5 kilos for Marcos Albaladejo Castro from Spain. 7.5 kilo jump, leaving him just shy of his personal best. And again, another lifter who could be really pushing for one of those podium spots. A lot of the names in the hat for that bronze position.
Pretty nice bench, 3 white lights, a good lift.
That's 3 white lights and a good lift. 162.5 on the bar for Jan Pouget of France. Hirai Hapamaki, get ready. Bar is loaded. 162.5 kilos for Jan Pouget.
So we saw a plethora of issues for Jan Pouget's opening attempt. We're hoping he can fix up all those technical issues here in his second. His butt seemed to be floating before anyway, but he lost tension, I think, in position at the bottom. He might have slightly jumped the command, so
Yeah, multiple things going on for Jan.
a few things to fix, and let's hope he can. So he needs a bench on the board to post a total.
Yeah, that could already be a critical moment in his competition. Fit positioning looks a bit different.
Gets held a little bit longer, but it looked a lot better. And we wait with bated breath.
The suspense.
And 2 to 1, a good lift. He is on the board. Gets a depth call from the right-hand side referee. But it seems the jury are happy with it.
A sigh of relief for Jan Pouget and Team France.
Alberto Erez Franz from Spain, 167.5 kilos, a 5 kilo jump from his opener.
5 kilo jump onto a segmented first attempt. Let's hope for the same kind of corrections that Jan made.
Yeah, and it could have just been a case of knowing exactly what went wrong and knowing what to do and how to fix it. Or perhaps that's just the exact way he knows how to bench. Does seem like he's having a bit of grip issues with his shoes, however, so we'll see if that affects him.
It looked better.
It looked a lot better, yeah.
That first segment out of the chest looked way better. And this time he seems happy with the handoff. He said, run it again.
It's important for the lifters to remember, though, as well, that the people giving the handoff are going to be giving it to a lot of people. It's worth reminding them each time.
And it gets tiring, to be honest.
172.5 kilos for Jani Haapamäki from Finland. A 10 kilo jump from his opener, leaving him just 2.5 kilos below his personal best, which is insane with 21 years of competitive experience to continue to progress.
Yeah, this is goals right there.
Oh, it's a big grind, but he works through it so nicely, keeps his position, and it is a good lift. 3 white lights.
3 white lights and a good lift for Yanni. He's definitely pleased with that.
I like that energy. It's contagious.
It is, absolutely. It's worth remembering to enjoy yourself as well. I think perhaps it could be a good decision to leave that third attempt, but I wouldn't be surprised if he still came out for it. Our penultimate second attempt now, Joshua Wright from Germany, also opting for a 10 kilo jump, leaving him just 5 kilos below his personal best of 190, here with 185 kilos on the bar. A little sticky towards lockout, but still pretty good moving second attempt there.
Yeah, it seems like he has room if he can correct that mid part.
Yeah, I would imagine seeing a much smaller jump there to his third, but I think he's just gauging how many kilos he can get out of bench press before he can let loose on deadlifts.
I agree. 2.5, maybe 5, but not more.
We now have our final second attempt before we head into the third round of bench press to find out who walks away with which medals here. Kjell Backlund from Norway, jumping 7.5 kilos to 200, just 7.5 kilos shy of his personal best and 12.5 kilos shy of the European record.
And he seems so relaxed.
We see him shoot for the European record today, but he's definitely building a big bridge between him and Wright.
Oh, it's harder than expected.
Yeah, that is a surprise.
Well, that's no lift.
But it's a no lift, unfortunately. Obviously has that third attempt to come back and give a go to it, but luckily with the squat he has built a pretty big gap between himself and Wright, but he's going to want to make that attempt to make it impossible to catch him, really. And we can see here Happamaki currently sat in bench press bronze, in silver Wright from Germany, and still in gold from his opener Backlund from Norway with 192.5. And we head into the third and final round of bench press. Alain Joist from Switzerland, 155 kilos, opting for the minimum jump of 2.5 to 155.
And as the crowd said, easy for Alain Jost.
Yeah, it's a good third attempt, just looking to, like we said, get all the kilos you can out of today.
He's cruising, building the total.
Get ready, bar is loaded for 157.5 for Constantinou, Cyprus.
157.5 kilos for Christos Constantinou from Cyprus. Just shy of his personal best of 160.
Great use of the leg drive.
Yeah, that's a lovely third attempt from Christos, and a good lift, 3 white lights.
160 on the bar for Marcos.
And this time it surely was the right call for the third attempt.
Get ready, bar is loaded. 160 kilos for Albadejo.
160 kilos from Marcos Abladejo Castro from Spain, a 2.5 kilo jump from his second. Again, another lifter just looking to rack up as many kilos as possible.
Yeah, he's looking at a probable top 5 finish.
Yeah, he's in a position where he could even push for that bronze medal, so every kilo counts. Certainly worth taking those 2.5 if you think you can grab them. Much better than going 5 and missing the opportunity for small kilos.
For sure.
And it seems like it was the right decision as well,
Absolutely. It seems like you have an eye for those things, Amelia, after seeing tons and tons and tons of bench press attempts.
1 or 2, yeah. Great job from
Just a
Team Spain
few,
there.
just a few.
Thumbs up, thumbs down, flags, something like that.
We're missing one of the lights of the referees.
3 white lights.
And it is
Good
3
lift.
white lights, a good lift.
Sorry for keeping you waiting, Espana. 167.5 and above. Jan
Now,
Pouget.
after a bit of a sticky start to bench press, Jan Pouget fixed up his bench for his second attempt. Now jumping 5 kilos to 167.5 for a 2.5 kilo personal best. Although perhaps falling a little short of what he wanted from bench press.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm quite surprised by the 5 kilo jump, because that second attempt that he got was not easy by any means. There were still a few things to correct for Jan Pouget, but if he can get this one, it is absolutely massive. So as they say in France, allez Jan.
And he manages to lock it out. I'm a little bit worried about the elbow depth, but I could be wrong.
Yeah,
and I
that-
hope I am.
That right elbow looked a bit high to me
That
also.
is 2 up, 1 down, 2 to 1. That is a good lift.
2 for 1, a good lift.
Pouget.
Yeah, and it is the side that we saw live here that got the elbow depth cool.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to be too Frenchy. This one probably shouldn't pass, but the jury's going to look at it.
Well, if the jury are happy with it, as well as 2 referees, then it absolutely is the right decision.
Yeah, because they need to be unanimous to be able to overturn the lift. If it looks borderline and one of the members of the jury says it could be possible that it is a good lift, it won't be overturned.
Alberto Erez Frances from Spain, 172.5 kilos in an attempt to move into bench press bronze. And the jury has overruled that last lift from Pouget to a no lift, as we might have suspected.
Yeah.
The jury has overruled, I'm afraid. That is no lift.
But now, Alberto Erez Frances, 172.5, at a stab at the bench medal.
Second attempt was way better than his opener. Let's keep the train going, Alberto.
No, unfortunately, just a little bit too much for Alberto today.
Yeah, I don't think it was technique this time.
And that might hurt him a little bit. Again, not opting for that 2.5 kilos because, again, another lifter in the fight for that potential bronze.
Will be a European Masters 1 record for Jani Hapamaki
So,
of Finland. He's going to need some sea
already
salt for this one.
With the bench press bronze medal, we have Jani Hapamaki coming out for 175 kilos, which is a European M1 record. So lifters 40 to 49. Current record is 173, and as this is an open competition, he can't chip it. So going 2 whole kilos above.
Apparently this is the bench that he has already done, but locally. So this time, if he does get it up, it will count as a European Master 1 record.
Yeah, the second was hard, but can he find those extra couple kilos?
Come on!
Unfortunately, not today. That second lift really was a limit lift, but phenomenal effort. You might as well go for it.
If it's a record, you need to attempt it for your name in the history books.
Absolutely, and he still walks away with that bench press bronze, so really had nothing to lose with that.
Yeah, that is no lift, no lift.
With our penultimate bench press attempt here, we have Joshua Wright from Germany. 187.5 kilos, already has bench press silver. Gold belongs to Backlund, got that with his opener, but this is to add an extra couple of kilos to that total, put the pressure as much as he can on Chell, although the lead Chell currently has is pretty significant. Both big pullers.
Yeah, as anticipated, he makes a much smaller jump, 2.5 kilos. Small jumps, but big decisions towards the total and the final placing for Joshua Wright. And it made a lot of sense.
Yeah, that was the perfect number on the bar. I don't think another half kilo would have even gone then. Very, very smooth, like the rest of his lifts, really.
Yeah, 3 white lights.
And it is a good lift, 3 white lights.
And we have the last bench press of this session. We are loading up 200 kilos for Chell Bacalund. He didn't get it last time. He looked a little bit surprised.
We now have our final bench press of the session. Chell Bacalund surprisingly missed it on his second, but like we said, the turnaround was so quick between competitions. Retaking it now, already has bench press gold for an extra 7.5 kilos on his total, 200 kilos on the bar. Just communicating how he would like his hand up there. This is a weight that he's done before, but the circumstances certainly have been different the last few months.
It looked different this time.
Yeah, unfortunately not quite there today, but for those of you that aren't avid powerlifting fans and are a little bit newer, Chell competed at a very big competition just less than a couple of months ago, and it's a very quick turnover in a different weight class, so not completely unexpected to see that.
He made history just a few weeks ago.
We now have the results here. We have in bronze Hapamäki from Finland with 172.5. In silver, Joshua Wright with 187.5. And of course with bench press gold, Chell Bacalund from Norway with 192.5 kilos.
Strength. It's not just about muscle, it's about will. Grit, the fire inside that refuses to quit. Every rep, every lift, every drop of sweat, it all leads to this moment. This is for the relentless. The dedicated. The ones who push past limits and redefine strength. You don't just lift the weight. You lift yourself. You lift your legacy. Powerlifting isn't a sport. It's a statement. How strong is yours?
The deadlift is the last movement of the powerlifting competition. On that movement, the lifter's whole body is used and put to the test. The athlete approaches the bar once the central referee calls bar loaded. He then has 1 minute to start the lift. In the conventional or sumo position, the athlete has to pull the barbell until his shoulders, hips, and knees are fully locked. Once that position is assumed by the lifter, the central referee will give the down command. The bar has to be lowered to the ground without the lifter being allowed to drop it until it touches the floor, which completes the lift. At the end of deadlift, the powerlifting total is made, which determines the winner and final placings. There are 4 main mistakes to avoid. First, not locking your shoulders, hips, or knees at the end of the movement. Second, not completing the lift with a single upward bar movement. Third, completing the lift hitching at the legs in order to allow you to do so. Fourth, dropping the bar after the central referee down command.
Barbieri, Alabert, Bielich, and Montanaro.
And welcome back to the 2025 European Open Classic Powerlifting Championships here in Malaga, Spain. We are about to head into the deadlift event, as we've just seen the rules explained, and what an exciting event we have ahead of us with some huge deadlifts coming, some huge battles between lifters. We've seen a lot of the deadlift openers change here in the ladies, those belonging to Montanaro, Bielich, Alabert and Cuervo Sanos. Now, it'll be interesting to see in which direction, but by the looks of it, a lot of them have gone up.
Yup. Some by 22.5 kilos.
I believe that is Noemi Alabert that you were talking about.
Yup.
Yeah, the previous world champion. It was odd to see her nominated, projected in 5th at the beginning of the competition, but that certainly explains it.
And still, Jelena Bielich, after a massive bench, went up for her deadlift opener. It's going to be an intriguing battle for the podium in the 52s.
Yeah, it absolutely will. And, you know, a lot can change in that time. We've seen some upsets. We've seen battles before. We've seen people this morning that weren't nominated even near the podium, ending up on the podium. So a lot to come. You can see the running order here, a big variation from 132 to 175 kilos.
Yeah, everything to play for. It's game day, Emilia.
Absolutely, and this is where they really have to switch on. Once they've gotten one deadlift in, as long as they have one squat and one bench, they secure their total and can let their hair down a little bit and breathe and push into those final attempts to build the total. Kicking us off, we have Estela Cuervo Sanos from Spain, opening on 132.5 kilos. Now, she's one of the lifters who has changed her opening attempt, and I'm wondering if it's down, looking at her deadlift PB being 160, whether maybe she hurt herself during warm-ups or perhaps just not feeling quite as strong today.
Yeah, I think she's the only one that lowered the opener.
Will definitely be interesting to see what the reason perhaps for that is, but looking to finish the day strong regardless, get all 3 deadlifts in. A lot of similar numbers there at the top. The top 3 with 172, 172 and 175. It's going to be a close fight for deadlifts, let alone overall. Estela Cuervo Sanos coming out now for that 132.5 kilos. A little bit of a speed wobble at the top there.
That is
Hoping it, yeah, we go. 3 white lights, a good lift. The bar didn't dip at all.
At least she's not looking injured, which we were wondering because of the lowering of the opener.
It could just be a case of opening very, very conservatively, just feeling it out on the platform and then making a slightly larger jump. We'll have to see. Marji Lehochin Fowal from Hungary, 147.5 kilos.
It looked pretty easy.
Yeah, and with an PB of 172.5, it makes sense.
And if you don't see the lights on your screen, don't worry, we're working on it as we speak. A quick technical issue, but the competition's still running with the flags of the referees.
Now a lifter fighting for a podium position, neck and neck with Bielic as it stands, but deadlifts may separate them a lot now that the Austrian lifter has moved her opener up. Alexandra Aranatovic from Serbia, 160 kilos. Ooh, and I think just lost balance there at the top, unfortunately.
Happens in sumo.
Yeah, not quite the start you want to your deadlifts, as she now has to fight not just to get those kilos that she may lose, but also to get a total. Yeah.
And the more the toes are pointed outwards, the more it's difficult to balance.
Now, although Noemi Alabert moving her deadlift up certainly puts the pressure on Plundeckers, Plundeckers still very much in the lead should she make this opener. 165 kilos, still 15 kilos below her personal best.
This is not the best I've seen her open, to be honest.
It's a good lift, however. Yeah, I want to watch that in the replay because it seems like she really quite physically pulled the bar off of the ground a lot more through the back rather than through the legs.
Yeah, the hips kick back, but I think it has a lot to do with the eyes being so looking at the ground.
We'll have to wait and see. Perhaps something she fixes, perhaps, you know, something she's just having to deal with at the moment. But regardless, she's in the lead and remains there as it stands.
Well in the lead.
Yeah. Ilaria Barbieri from Italy, 170 kilos.
Another speed wobble.
Yeah, and you do see that, like you said, with sumo, the balance isn't always there, but she gets 3 white lights. As long as the bar doesn't dip or you don't become unlocked in position, you should be fine. Now Noemi Alabert, who really quite significantly moved her opener up to 170. Oh!
Entering deadlifts, she's a different animal.
Yeah, not only was that too quick for me to even say what the number was, she is off before I could have finished the sentence.
Oh no, she's gone.
If I wasn't looking at the screen, I might have thought she hadn't come out. Now our penultimate deadlift opener, we have Jelena Bielic from Austria, 172.5 kilos, another lifter who moved the deadlift up.
And this is just 5 kilos shy of her registered personal best.
Yeah, hit a huge squat personal best. Walked away with bench press gold. She is on really good form today. Let's hope deadlift follows suit.
Yeah, if this one moves well, she might be looking at the 2nd position overall.
Wow.
Oh yeah, she's aiming for it.
That is absolutely incredible. Important to remember that Noemi is now jumped up in the leaderboard, but with a deadlift like that, Jelena's in a really good position. Like you said, not just to hit podium, but to land with a really big total. Now our final opening attempt, we have Cosmiana Montanaro with 175 kilos. Another lifter who I believe opened higher than she originally put down. It was a good lift, 3 white lights. Slow, but it definitely looks strong.
It was a great sumo.
And that concludes our opening attempts. We see a lot of big lifters fighting there. We move into our second round of deadlifts now. We can see kicking us off, we have Estela Cuervo-Sanos, 145 kilos, Montanaro from Italy leading, followed by the Austrian and French lifters there.
Only Alexandra Aranitovic yet to be on the board.
It's a good lift. There's a 12.5 kilo jump, so pacing well there, I think, after feeling out our opener. Yeah, Aranetovic missing that opener really opens the door up for Jelena to push there. Marji Lehachin Fawal from Hungary, 160 kilos, a 12.5 kilo jump from her opener. After being quite upset, missing her third attempt at bench, she's done really well to get her head back in the game for deadlifts, with her opener looking very strong.
A bit sticky at lockout, but still she manages to pull back.
Yeah, it is a good lift, 3 white lights, and she's very, very experienced. I'll say usually, I'm not saying this is the case for her, but usually with sumo you see it quite quickly off the ground and then, slow off the ground and quick at lockout, and the opposite for conventional. So when you start to see it a little stickier towards lockout, you might guess that they're towards their top end.
Well said, couldn't agree more.
Alexandra Aranetovic now from Serbia, still without a deadlift on the board. No total registered quite yet, has chosen to go up to try and keep the gap close. 165 kilos on the bar.
And I'm not so sure I like that move of going up 5 kilos.
Yeah, and unfortunately that's 3 blues, so that is for assisting the bar up the legs. You can see here as we re-watch it, she uses her leg to move the bar, as some people say, hitch the bar up her leg, which is not allowed.
Blue goes for downwards movement and supporting on the thighs, and I think we can clearly see both on the replay.
Yeah, and it puts her in a sticky situation because now she is without a total with only 1 lift remaining.
And with her forecasted 4th, it opens the door for someone else.
Plundekers now, 172.5 kilos. Her opener looked a little bit different to how we're used to seeing it, so let's see how this extra 7.5 kilos moves. Already a lot better.
Yeah, it looked like the same technique, just better.
Yeah, certainly hinged into it a little bit better, I think, and it definitely benefited her.
Once again, the champion adapts.
$180 kilos for Jelena Bielic from Austria, a 7.5 kilo jump, and this will be a 2.5 kilo personal best. She is having a phenomenal day out today, really getting everything she can out of herself, and this is the place to do it.
A very well-rounded athlete.
You would expect that from Austria's best.
Fair enough.
And still moving really nicely there.
Good lift for Bielic. Next weight on the bar remains at 180 for Ilaria Barbieri of Italy. Montanaro, Alabert to get ready.
3-second attempts remaining before we head into the third and final round, where we find out who walks away European champion, who walks away in silver, and who walks away with bronze. Ilaria Barbieri from Italy now taking a 10 kilo jump to 180, provisionally moves her into deadlift silver for the time being, with Montanaro and Alabert to follow.
3 white lights and a
It
good
looked good. 3 white lights. It looked a bit more difficult, as you would expect out of the second attempt.
Yeah, and after a 10-kilo jump as well.
I'm not so sure what you can add on to that. It is very difficult, and once the sumo gets hard, it doesn't break the floor, so you need to be very cautious with what you load.
I think if she's patient enough, she can get another couple kilos, you know, maybe 5 out of that, but she's going to have to really stick through and stick with it.
And keep in mind that you can modify that last deadlift attempt until the chief referee says that the bar is loaded.
182.5 kilos for Cosmiana Montanaro of Italy. 7.5 kilo jump and provisionally moves her into deadlift gold with Alibert to follow.
Ooh, you seen that right knee?
3 white lights and a good lift.
3 white lights, a good lift, definitely getting harder. We'll have a look at that again in replay. I know you mentioned her knee there. It just locked out a bit sooner than the other, but yeah, she was almost in danger of unlocking it as well, but very, very close. Noemi Alibert now 182.5 kilos, a 10-kilo jump.
Wow!
I just about managed to say her name before she did it this time. It's a good lift, definitely getting harder though for her. And that concludes the second round of deadlifts. Let's have a look again at the board. Bielic in deadlift, bronze at the moment. Alibert in silver and bodyweight behind Montanaro of Italy, who is currently sat in gold.
And then we do the same for the 74-kilo gentleman.
We head into the third round of deadlifts now. Of course, Aronatovic still without a deadlift or a total, hoping that can change, but 165 looked a little tricky for her. Estela Cuervo-Sanos from Spain now 155 kilos, opting for a 10-kilo jump to a third and final attempt.
8 more attempts to decide it all in the 52-kilo class.
No, and 10 kilos was just too ambitious today.
Not today. No lift on Estela. 165. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I need your helping hands, all of you, no matter where you are from.
And that next one, Emilia, is absolutely critical.
Yeah, we're about to see Alexander Aranatovic, who was a threat for podium, come onto the platform. The Serbian lifter needs this to secure a total. It looks like she is likely out of the chance for podium, but still would walk away top 5, I would imagine, should she get this to post a total. If she misses this, she's disqualified from the competition. 165 kilos. Everything rides on this for her. No, and unfortunately, it is just not there for her today.
Yeah, she won't be able to register a total, but I like the fact that she received support from all of the crowd, regardless of nationality or anything.
Yeah, you never want to see a lifter go out for not getting a lift in on the board, but she still walked away smiling. Lesson to be learnt.
Do not up after missing.
Marji Lerchin-Fawal from Hungary going up 7.5 kilos to 167.5.
Margit Lehoskina of Hungary.
Oh, it's a great fight. She looks glued at her thighs though, however.
Unfortunately, no lift. The red card
Looked a little dizzy after, and the spotters notice were right in to help her, but she was okay.
These spotters are so efficient.
5 kilos for Plundeckers, Netherlands. Now she's leading at the moment. She's nowhere in deadlift, but she needs this in order to stave off Alibert.
So what looked like a pretty hefty lead to begin with, Plundeckers needs this really to keep Alibert off of her back. I think Alibert currently with a placeholder in, but 5 kilos extra for Plundeckers certainly will help her. 177.5 kilos. This is less than her personal best, but only just. She's really going to need it if she wants to walk away European champion today.
It doesn't seem too greedy. 5 kilo jump for Plandeckers. Seems doable.
And I think arguably her best deadlift yet today.
Okay, let's see those lights.
And it is a good lift. 3 white lights makes the job harder for Alabert, who would have to lift 197.5 kilos to beat Plun. Yeah, we've seen her drop. It would have been quite the Hail Mary, I think. Noémie Alabert from France, 185 kilos, moves her into deadlift gold for the time being. Currently in silver. If she misses this, there's a shot from Austria to push for that.
We know it's going to be scrappy at the bottom, but if it passes the knees, it's going to be fast. Everything on the line for Noémie.
She is shaking, but she's moving it, and look at her go. She's not a world champion for a reason. That is a previous world champion, and that is exactly why. That is a good lift for Noémie, and she pulls herself into a comfortable silver, and we've seen an attempt change from Austria to pull ahead of previous world champion Noémie Alabert, and how exciting is that?
Now.
We are seeing a lot of attempt changes come in here, ladies and gentlemen. It is so exciting.
Where are we going with this?
We're going to Austria, apparently.
Yeah, there are a lot of attempt changes coming in, which means the spotters and loaders are constantly changing the bar. The order is constantly changing. Italy comes over.
Italy's coming in.
Both Italians coming in. Austria's already come in. And now it looks like it's Jelena who is next, playing some mind games perhaps.
I think the Italian is only aiming at the gold medal in the deadlift event.
Yeah, all 3 have changed to 187.5 kilos. Jelena pushing for silver overall, the others pushing for the deadlift gold. Cosmiana Montanaro from Italy, 187.5 kilos, and the lightest of the 3 to attempt this weight. So if she gets this, she will remain with the deadlift gold. And she keeps it moving. Oh, and unfortunately just begins to lose grip there as she gets towards lockout.
These moments are so intense.
Yeah, the opportunity to grab deadlift gold off of Alabert is still there for Jelic and for Barbieri. Now we have 2 deadlifts remaining, and this isn't just for deadlift gold. I think what she's likely more chasing is to move from bronze overall, which she has secured, to silver overall, ahead of previous world champion Noémie Alabert. And what a feat that would be. 187.5 kilos on the bar, already matched her personal best. 180 on her second. This is a 7.5 kilo personal best for Jelena.
And to be fair, it seems doable. She's been having a stellar performance here today, looking so strong. Austria's best. A second position overall in her fingertips.
She breaks the ground, and it's just a little bit too heavy for her today, but what a phenomenal showing from Jelena.
So Noémie Alabert stays in second position. 1 more deadlifts to go though for the Italian.
Yeah, and currently in deadlift bronze was the Austrian lifter Jelena Jelic, but Barbieri, looking to take that deadlift gold, would knock her off of the podium. It would make them switch places in deadlift. Our final deadlift of the 52 kilo lifters. Our podium already decided overall. This is for the deadlift gold. We have Ilaria Barbieri from Italy, 187.5 kilos.
You
Again,
mentioned that patience off the ground would be the critical point for that attempt.
more than she's ever lifted before. Huge personal best should she get this, and a gold deadlift medal at the European Championships.
It is intense. The last deadlift attempt of the 52s for the gold medal in the deadlift event.
And it's just a little too heavy, unfortunately, but what a phenomenal effort, leaving Alibert with deadlift gold, Montenero with deadlift silver, and Bjelic with deadlift bronze. And of course, what an incredible session we've had from those 52s. As I just said, here as the deadlift results as we see them: Alibert in gold, Montenero in silver, and Bjelic in bronze. And overall, we have Plimdek as your new European champion, followed by Alibert of France and Bjelic of Austria.
Dancing and all things Spanish. Or maybe most of them. Okay, we've got 225.
But don't go anywhere as we head straight into the 74-kilo men to find out who walks away in what position here. Kicking us off with our deadlifts, we have Alain Joost from Switzerland, 225 kilos.
And 3 of the 8 openers have been changed also in this group. Some bumped up, some bumped down. I think a bit of a rivalry between Spain and France for that podium spot. But for now, it is Alain Joost, 225. The 4 red cookies on the bar.
Wow, extremely snappy there from Alain. And a good lift, 3 white lights.
250 on the bar now for Yanni Happamaki, Finland, Konstantinou Herai, get ready. Bars loaded, 250 kilos, Yanni Happamaki, Finland.
250 kilos in the bar for Yanni Happamaki from Finland. Just rolling the bar slightly forward there to sit in a position that he's happy with. A little trouble at lockout there for Yanni, but
yeah, I'm not so sure that knee was locked out. The grip almost gave up. But 2-1.
yeah, just gets a red from the center referee. Not happy with that lockout.
I could get behind that call of the chief referee. I think it's arguable.
Yeah, I can see arguments for both for sure, but jury seem happy with it. I think, oh, maybe not. The jury are moving. We'll keep one eye there, but for now, Christos Constantinou from Cyprus, 260 kilos for his opening attempt. Yeah, and unfortunately, Yanni Happamaki's deadlift has been overruled to a no lift.
Yeah, not a red tie nor a blue tie, but I thought so too. And the infamous speed wobble at the top of the sumo for the snappy Christos Constantinou.
Yeah, unfortunately, as you said, just maybe a little too strong for his own good there. Gets to the top, bit of a balance issue there with sumo. Almost the bar knocked off his quads as a result of the speed. Alberto Orez Frances from Spain, 260 kilos. Only one successful opening attempt so far in this A flight. Not very normal to see.
Not as explosive as his squat, but still pretty good.
3 white lights, a good lift.
That's a good lift. 275 on the bar. Jan Pouget, France, El Baladejo, back on and right to get ready.
4 more openers to go.
Bars loaded, 275 kilos, Jan Pouget.
275 kilos for Jan Pouget from France. Has a personal best of 290. Like you said, a bit of an unknown on the international stage, so setting the scene for himself here.
Yeah, the great squat event, an eventful bench press event. Hoping that deadlift goes more along the lines of the squat.
Ooh, and unfortunately just skipped the down command there.
Yeah, I don't think he received the down command there.
Yeah, unfortunately not. 3 yellows. We'll have a look at that again here. And it seems like he just softly fell forwards. I don't think he jumped it. I think he just started to fall forwards.
Was that anticipation or losing balance?
It's really quite hard to say, but
I think this is inexperience kicking in.
yeah, and that's 3 out of the 8 so far without an opener in. Marcos Abladejo Castro, if you couldn't guess by the sound of the crowd, 282.5 kilos on the bar. Still in a pretty good position to fight for podium.
He almost lost balance there.
He did
Oh,
lose
he
balance,
did.
unfortunately. I was about to say. And that is 50% of the flight with 2 left to go without an opener in, which is pretty unheard of in an A session. Something
Very
in the air
true.
today.
I mentioned the last bench press attempt being statistically the most missed attempt in powerlifting.
Not today.
Turns out it is the first deadlift.
Well, we have 2 pretty reliable lifters to come, so I feel safe in their hands that they'll get their openers in. First, which is Shell Backlund with 18 years of competitive experience in equipped and raw powerlifting. 290 kilos on the bars, a personal best of 340, which because of his weight jumping around, I don't think he'll get near today, but definitely will still deadlift something pretty large. And that is exactly how you want an opener to be.
Convincing enough for sure. 3 white lights for Shell Backlund.
Showing him how showing all the young guns how it's done.
Look at me, boys. This is how you do it. It's crazy how he can go from one competition to another. Sheffield, now Europeans later on in the year. He has World Games. Crazy.
Joshua right now our heaviest opener of this flight. Another well-versed lifter, 295 kilos, in a very strong position for silver overall.
Semi-sumo position.
A little
Something's
shaky,
in the air.
yeah, but he was fine. 3 white lights, a good lift. I think it's just there's a tremendous load of weight in his hands, and sometimes that can make a lifter shake. But he holds on to it in the right way that he doesn't get scrutinized for it. And that concludes our opening attempt. Surprisingly, with 4 lifters, still not with an opening attempt in. We still see the lifters from the B group there, so subject to change now as we head into the second attempts. And we now head into those second attempts and try and see those 4 lifters get a lift on the board. First of which is Yanni Habamaki, retaking 250 kilos.
2 things we want to pay attention now is his grip on the right hand and his knees.
Yeah, a lot of similar issues we saw on these missed openers, really. Nerves probably a little bit higher now for these 4 lifters. Need to make this to get a total.
To secure the grip, we can see him clawing his missed grip, which means putting his thumb over his fingers while mixed gripping.
And there we go, 3 white lights. His knee was shaking, but he managed to get it locked in before getting the down command this time round. You can see here again in the replay, it does shake, but he managed to stop it just in time.
Yeah, nicely done.
That is 1 of 4 on the board, 25% of them.
I'm not placing any bets.
Alain Jost from Switzerland, 250 kilos, a huge 25 kilo jump from his opener. Lovely, snappy second attempt there. 25 kilos, barely slowing him down.
260 over half. And Christos Konstantinou did not get this last time. Second attempt at this weight for young man from Cyprus. Pouget and Hirak, get ready. Bars loaded. 260 kilos. Christos Konstantinou.
Christos Konstantinou from Cyprus, retaking that 260 kilos. One of the few lifters we saw, unfortunately, not get that opening attempt in.
For him, it was not a grip issue, it was more of a balance issue. Better?
Yeah, I guess the down command this time. I did see his hand starting to slip there in the middle, so perhaps that's why his lockout position didn't look quite up to the standard of the centre referee. As it stands on the board now.
Did not get his opener. He's going to need some serious quench support.
On the replay, it seems fine this way. He got voice from the sides.
Now another lifter looking to get on the... Oh, and the jury has overruled it, unfortunately, to a no lift for Konstantinou. Now we have Jan Pouget from France, 275 kilos, another lifter who just didn't get that down command in time. We're not sure if he lost balance or if he skipped the command. So hopefully this will be a lot better.
Yeah, the thing that gives us hope is that it didn't look hard, it just looked unbalanced.
Yeah. Because it came down very slowly. And that is a good lift, 3 white lights.
But he made it harder on himself to chase that podium with only one more attempt to go for him.
Yeah. He still is in a shot of it, especially with Alberto Castro without a deadlift on the board, who's the favourite for bronze at the moment. However, Alberto Jerez Frances, 275 kilos, a 15 kilo jump from his opener. Unfortunately, it just seemed like a bit too much of a jump, which is worrying considering it's his second attempt there, Alex.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty surprised. 15 kilos is a big jump, but that was supposed to be a second attempt, and they stuck to the ground.
Yeah, we did say that his opener looked a little less snappy than usual. Now, Marcos Albaladejo Castro, with the whole crowd behind him anyway, but even more so now, missed his opener, just did not meet that down command in time, and it's gone up 12.5 kilos anyway to 295 in an attempt to still push for those podium positions.
Yeah, that would give him the third position for the time being, and it looks Pretty snappy.
Yeah, strength was never ever going to be an issue for Marcos there. And he is on the board without hesitation.
The thing is that Jan Puget is lighter than Marcos Castro Alvarado, which is an advantage, but it looks to be weaker in the deadlift events.
Well, he looks to have less in the tank to push for that third for sure. We have now our penultimate second attempt in Kjell Backlund from Norway. A 15-kilo jump from his opener to 305. And I'm still not going to say he can't be caught because Joshua Wright does have a big deadlift on him, but if he gets this, it certainly makes for a difficult job. Still lovely and clean there from Kjell.
A quick thumbs up from Kjell.
12.5 on the bar for Joshua Wright of Germany. This is the last lift in round 2, and then we start round 3 with Constantino and Just.
It didn't look the easiest we've seen him pull 305, but with back-to-back competition, it's not that much of a surprise.
We now have Joshua Wright, our final second attempt now, making a big 17.5-kilo jump to 312.5. Be interested to see how this moves. He's looking really strong today. Slow and steady. Still looks very, very strong, but certainly slowed down a fair amount. And it is 3 white lights, a good lift. Have a look at that again as that concludes the second round of deadlifts. We'll soon find out who ends up on the podium for the 74-kilo men. Backlund currently in deadlift bronze, in silver Al Lankawi from the B group, and in gold Joshua Wright from Germany. You can see Backlund with a hefty lead there, currently ahead of Wright. Alvarado Castro holding on to get bronze.
Come on, you got this. Come on, easy. Wait, rip it up now.
And we head into our third and final round. This is a really, really crucial lift for Christos Constantinou. 260 kilos, still without a deadlift on the board, which means he has no total as it stands. Needs this to place in the competition, and that is so much better. 3 white lights, a good lift, and the whole crowd is cheering for him.
That's what we like to see. Great sportsmanship for Gerrit out of Cyprus.
Yeah, fantastic job there. And it means every lifter has now made a total in the 74s. Another pretty hefty jump here from Alan Jost from Switzerland, 270 kilos, a 20-kilo jump. I think, like we said, as he came in a little bit injured, we think just feeling it out as he goes.
Yeah, his performance today was unreadable. Who could have predicted that?
Yeah, definitely keeping us on our toes. And it looks good. I think the hardest we've had to see him work all day. And it is a good lift, 3 white lights. A great effort from Alain.
And some emotion now from him.
Get ready.
Maybe happy about the comeback post-injury.
At this weight,
I think perhaps, you know, after coming in, having to adjust his expectations, happy to finish on a 9 for 9 day. Alberto Ores Francis from Spain, retaking 275 kilos after missing it on his second. 15 kilos perhaps a tad overzealous.
bar is loaded. 275 kilos for Alberto Henrique España.
Is it gonna break the ground this time for Alberto? Surely looks determined to do so, but no.
Just emptied the tank, I think, there, attempting it on his second. And I think we expected that. You know, it did look like a strength issue, which we're used to a slightly snappier deadlift from him. So I think we guessed off his first, perhaps not on his top form in terms of deadlifts today. Otherwise, a pretty great competition for the young lifter.
Followed it. 277.5
Now Jani Hapamäki from Finland, 277.5 kilos after a bit of a tumultuous start to deadlifts. Retook it, got it on his second, now jumping 27.5 kilos to his third and final attempt.
It's a big jump considering the problems he's had on his two first attempts.
Yeah, unfortunately not. And it, you know, it does beg the question, what was that number representing? Because I imagine maybe that was something that was very specific for him. But you have to take what you have on the day, not what your initial plan was. And I think perhaps he was just chasing what his planned third attempt was.
Yeah, at least it makes you wonder what was the reasoning behind that call.
Now just 4 deadlifts remaining, and they are all of mammoth size. We have France's Jan Puget of 292.5 kilos on the bar after missing his opener. Still not sure if he jumped the command or whether it was a balance issue, but it doesn't matter at this point. He got that second attempt in and now looks to push it up a further 17.5 kilos. This will take him into bronze overall for the time being.
He'll need to align the stars, the grip, the balance, the lockout. Everything needs to be picture perfect for Jan Puget.
Can he, at his first ever international, end up on the overall podium? This deadlift will tell us that. And it looks like he's in a good position to do so. 3 white lights, a good lift, and he pulls himself onto podium. And as expected, we see an attempt change coming in from who I imagine is Abelardejo Castro of Spain, looking to retake that bronze position. And it is, they have moved their attempt up. They are looking to increase Puget's total by 2.5 kilos. Well, they didn't need to do that much, as he is lighter, I believe, than the French. No, I'm sorry, he is heavier. Just by 0.1 of a kilo. So this will pull Abelardejo Castro onto the podium, into bronze position as his first year as an open. Is it the lifter new to the sport or the lifter new to the age category that walks away with bronze overall? We'll have to wait and see. 305 kilos on the bar.
And that support is amazing. We mentioned it was a very snappy lifter, very fast, very explosive off the ground, until he wasn't. Is it gonna be snappy, or is it not gonna break the ground? Marcos Abelardejo Castro, it is your time.
And there it is, he locks it out and manages to hold on to it. Marcos Abelardejo Castro pulls himself into the position of bronze overall, and the crowd goes wild for him on home soil. What a place to do it.
This will not change the overall position, but it will pull Chow into provisional.
Nothing you can say that it even looked like he had a bit more in the tank. Nicely done by the Spanish.
His day only.
Now, he cannot be caught, especially if he makes this lift. Chow Backlund pulling 315 kilos is 10 kilos on top of what he has already done on his second. But what this will give him is a 775 kilo total, which would be 5 kilos more than he totaled at Sheffield a few weeks ago as a 66. So looking to make a statement of I can maintain my strength with back-to-back competitions. Of course, a little bit more body weight, but it certainly will be a statement nonetheless for Chow Backlund.
And it looked like he had more in the tank in the squad event.
This will also move him into deadlift gold, 315 kilos. A little bit of grip issue, but he holds onto it strong. 3 white lights, a good lift, and what a phenomenal performance. I'm not sure we expected much else from Chow.
Just greatness.
Just greatness indeed. And it looks like that is your new European champion. No German coaches have come over for a Hail Mary for Joshua.
It would have been a big ask for
A
Joshua
huge ask.
Wright.
Yeah, he would have had to pull 340 kilos in order to pull for the win. However, instead he is looking to retake the deadlift gold off of Chow. Already has the silver overall secured, already has the deadlift silver secured. The final lift of the session for Joshua Wright of Germany, 320 kilos, matches his personal best. 7.5 kilo jump from his second to end the day strong, get that gold medal.
I think he's looking more at his personal best than deadlift gold because he could have lowered a bit the bar.
Worth mentioning a 2.5 kilo total PB, which I imagine is why, yeah, he's putting this in the bar. Slow but steady. Can he lock it out? I'm not sure if it was.
Is it enough?
It is 2-1, a good lift. Phenomenal effort. We'll have a look at that again on the replay from a slightly easier angle to tell the lockout. And it does look better from there. It's whether the jury agree as well. And we can see here, actually in deadlift, bronze ended up from the B group. Al Lankawi from Switzerland. In silver, Backlund from Norway. And in gold, Joshua Wright from Germany. We can see your new European champion is Chow Backlund with 775 kilo total.
Powerlifting at this point in my life means so much and so much more than I ever thought that it could.
It's really cool. We interact really well, and there's a lot of love.
Especially as a woman, you know, you feel very capable and strong. The years before this was, you know, a male-dominant sport. Females have come into the sport and, you know, we're showing that we can be really strong and capable too. So that's a really good feeling.
It's not only something that I love to do as a sport, but it's so many friends, I've seen so many things, and I've had so many opportunities that I never ever dreamed I could have.
It's really cool to come to people from France or Italy or Germany or Japan, and we all have this commonality of wanting to be strong and better powerlifters, and it kind of brings us together.
Everything has to match, especially we, as physios or as coaches, we try to maximize what the athletes can perform in this time frame, and we try to give our best.
So they can do their best.
It's really cool that now I have friends in a community across the world opposed to just like within my city. And like we get along great. I message them all the time on like Instagram or whatever the case may be, just like check in. the silver lining to it all, it teaches you to continue to work. It teaches you that there's still stuff to be done. It pushes you to be better, to do more. Sometimes if you're at the top, you can get complacent. And that's a wrap. Let's go see the competition.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
We now welcome back the 52 kilo women to see the medal ceremony. Well-deserved medals after an incredible battle from these ladies. We've had previous world champions, we've had squat world record holders, we've had upsets, and now it's time for them to collect their bling at the end of all of that. What a day it's been.
Medals will be presented by Monsieur Xavier Nicolas. Assisted by Bjorn Asper, EPF President.
This is a great opportunity after a day of lifting to see the well-deserved accolades of the athletes.
Please, the participation medals, let's go.
We now have the participation medals being passed out to all athletes, as it's not just important to get the individual medals here, but what a feat it is to get here at all. These are the top lifters in Europe. To make it into the A group alone takes quite something. So even if disheartened, walking away with no individual medals just to get here alone, absolutely incredible.
Okay, and now everyone has their participation medals and ESN goodie bags. So it is time to announce the individual lifts first of all. Taking bronze medal in squat with 152.5 kilos from España.
We can see here, walking away with squat bronze, Estela Cuervo Usanos from Spain with 152.5 kilos.
Taking silver with 162.5
In silver, we can see Noémie Alabert from France, 162.5 kilos. I think it's been a minute since we've seen her enjoy competing this much. Previous world champion. Good to see her in good form. And of course, in squat gold, the current world record holder, just half a kilo below her world record, Plun Deckers, with 175 kilos.
And now to bench press. Sorry to rush you. In bronze medal position with
We now move into the bench press medals. In bronze, Plun Deckers from the Netherlands with 90 kilos. This was indeed a very tight battle in every sense of the word.
With 97.5 kilos, it's Serbia's Aleksandra Aranitovic.
In silver, we have Aleksandra Aranitovic, 97.5 kilos, still gets to walk away with that bench press medal.
It's Austria's Helena Bielic.
Jelena Bielic from Austria walking away with bench press gold, 97.5 kilos.
Thank you, ladies. And now to deadlift. Really close again.
We move now to the deadlift medals, where we see in bronze Jelena Bielic, 180 kilos for the Austrian lifter. Had a phenomenal day out today.
Deadlift silver with 182.5 kilos. It's
Cosmiana Montanaro from Italy in deadlift silver with 182.5 kilos.
And deadlift gold with 185
And Noemi
kilos.
Alabert with 185 kilos from France in deadlift gold. Lots of support here for all of the lifters today.
Well done, ladies, thank you. And now
We now move on to the
announce
overall results.
52 kilo European champion 2025 in bronze medal position with a total of 425
Bronze
kilos.
overall, we have the Austrian lifter with 425 kilos, Jelena Bielic. Heading up
Taking
on
silver
podium
overall
when
with
nominated slightly off the podium, an
422.5
incredible
kilos
feat
from
for the
France,
lifter.
Noemi Alabert.
In second, we have previous world champion Noemi Alabert with 432.5 kilos.
Silver medal and goodie bag, check. Which means
And your 2025 European Open Classic Powerlifting champion, we have Plun Dekkers from the Netherlands with 442.5 kilos. What an incredible day she has had. So well deserved.
please be upstanding, ladies and gentlemen, for the national anthem of the Netherlands. Stand up, please.
And there we heard the Dutch national anthem from Plun Dekkers, and you can see quite emotional after that well-deserved win. What a beautiful moment.
So without any further ado, if you would please join your fellow competitors at the back of the platform, please give me a round of applause as they follow the TC.
As we see the 52 kilo ladies head off, we invite on the 74 kilo men to claim their medals.
And don't go anywhere, folks, because we have our men waiting in the wings to go straight out onto the platform. Please give them a huge round of applause, our 72 kilo men. Go, go.
And another flight of lifters who gave us quite the performance. As mentioned before, the 74 kilo men are welcomed onto the platform once again to collect their medals. We see there some faces from the B group who managed to pull off getting a medal overall, which is quite a hard feat.
Participation medals, first of all, for all concerned. Participation medals, and yeah, I think ESN goodie bags from our partners. Don't forget to try their strength challenge, by the way.
Once again, all of the lifters receiving a participation medal. It takes a lot to get here. The top lifters in Europe in front of you. And I've got to say that's one of the coolest participation medals I think I've ever seen at championships.
Good job.
You can see the bags being handed out there by the EPF president.
Participation medals. Thank you. So let's go without further ado to the individual lift, beginning with squats. In bronze medal
We now begin to
position
hand out the
261.5
squat medals.
kilos, it is Cyprus's
In bronze with 262.5 kilos, Christos Konstantino from Cyprus. Phenomenal performance. 267.5 kilos for Yann Pouget of France in silver. And squat gold goes to none other than Kjell Backlund, your new European champion, with 267.5 kilos. Took it from Pouget just on body weight there. What a fight between the two of them.
Well done, guys. Thank you. And now to bench press.
We move on to bench press.
Bronze medal position with 172.5
In bronze with 172.5 kilos, we have Jani Hapamäki from Finland, just shy of that Masters 1 record.
Taking silver with 187.5
In silver
kilos,
with
it's
187.5 kilo, we have Germany's Joshua Wright. And taking the bench press gold again belongs to Kjell Backlund of Norway with 192.5 kilos. Really earning his crown here.
Thank you, gentlemen. And now to deadlift. Super close once again.
We move on to the deadlift medals. In deadlift bronze from the B group, Adel Al-Lankawi from Switzerland with 310 kilos. Not an easy feat whatsoever to get a medal from the B group. You have no foresight of what the other lifters are pulling.
Deadlift silver with 315 kilos goes to Norway's Kjell Backlund.
Norway's Kjell Backlund ending with 315 kilos with deadlift silver. You'll have to
Well done, Kjell.
knock all those golds with one silver there, as gold goes to Germany's Joshua Wright with 320 kilos. Making sure Kjell Backlund didn't get the clean sweep there.
Well done, guys. Great job. Thank you. And now it is finally time, gentlemen.
Now to crown your new European champion.
The 74 kilo European champion.
Coming in third overall
Bronze medal position
with 725 kilos, Marcos Albaladejo Castro from Spain. Big support from the home crowd today. Well-deserved bronze medal from the young athlete. In silver with 755 kilos, we have Germany's Joshua Wright, putting up an incredible performance today. And your new 2025 European champion from Norway with 775 kilos, 5 kilos more than he totaled just a couple of months ago, Kjell Backlund from Norway. Proving why people call him the Goat Slayer.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the national anthem of Norway. Congratulations, gentlemen, an excellent competition. Thank you.
And what a way to start the competition today.
I believe there is one
Absolutely phenomenal and well deserved by all athletes.
we are inducting
And that concludes the medal ceremony. We'll catch you later for the next session.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving our 74 kilo men a huge round of applause as they follow our technical controller from the platform.